What we're going to do is we're going to cover a very important topic, something very near and dear to my heart, something that I love talking about. We're going to talk about the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading. Or in other words, we're going to talk about how to make money trading without making expensive and emotional mistakes, right? Because that's a lot of things that algorithmic trading can help out with, right? Okay, so let's get this kicked off. Okay, before we jump into things, I want to cover a couple key points, right? So you guys might be thinking a few things about algo trading. So before we get started, I want to say a few things here. First of all, if you've ever lost money trading in the past, it's not your fault, right? You're probably trading on emotion. And you didn't have the data to back you up, right? This happens very often. A lot of people get into trading, they'll trade on emotion, but instead of actually using data to actually back up what they're doing, right? Number two, if you've ever been concerned in the past that you can't succeed without trading, I want to put those fears to rest. I want to tell you, you can do this. You just need the right person to explain to you and show it to you in the right way, right? Number three, the big hedge funds, they want you to think that you need a PhD to make your own trading algorithms. I've heard this before. People go around saying, "Oh yeah, you need to be this expert. You need to have a PhD to do this stuff." And a lot of people at these big hedge funds do have PhDs, but they're absolutely wrong in saying that you need to have a PhD to actually get started with algo trading and build your own algorithms. They have their own reason for saying this stuff. They don't want you to really get into this sort of thing, but it's become easier and easier. And these days, it's become extremely easy to be able to start your own algorithm. We're actually going to be launching a class very soon where it's going to be run your first algorithm in 15 minutes. That's how easy this stuff is getting. AI and a lot of tools are making this stuff very, very available. All right. Number four, if you ever thought that banks want you to fail, you're probably right. So if you're thinking about your Chase banks and all those other ones, they don't really benefit from your success, right? They benefit from keeping your money under their control, right? So they're not necessarily going to be telling you the things that are in your best interest. They're going to be telling you things that are in their best interest. That is going to keep your money around. That's going to keep it locked behind their pearly gates, right? So if you ever thought that banks are basically want you to fail, then you're probably right. And I know you have a dream to make a lot of money and making a big impact in the world, right? And I want to show you how to make that happen during this webinar, right? So, who is this webinar for, right? It's really for two different people. I've designed this thing for two different types of people. Number one is traders or investors who have never coded a day in their life. If that's you, if you've never programmed before, you don't know what a coding language is, you've never used Python or anything like that, then this is made for you, right? We'll give you, throughout our courses and throughout today, we'll give you a clear path to learn how to code if that's what you want to do, but you don't even really have to do that. And we'll show you how to get started very quickly, how to apply this stuff to your trading, right? We have a lot of code that you can copy paste. It's very easy to use, and we have a lot of AI tools that can make even someone who doesn't know how to code be able to do some really amazing things, right? So you do not have to be a programmer, okay? However, if you are a programmer, if you are someone who's written code in your past, you're someone who is trading and you're thinking about, how do I apply my coding skills to the world of investing? Well, you're in the right place as well, right? We'll show you basically how to apply your skills to the world of finance and how to access dozens of advanced trading strategies and a thriving community of people that are building these algorithms, right? We have lots of very advanced classes for you. If this is you, if you're a programmer, we can take you to the next level, right? We'll show you how to apply all those programming skills, how to skip the line essentially and be able to build some really amazing stuff very, very quickly. And we'll give you a lot of code to be able to start off with. Right? Okay, so this is my goal for the presentation, right? I like starting off presentation with a goal so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from as well. Is my goal for this presentation is really to help you believe that algorithmic trading is the key to unlocking incredible success in trading and investing. I'll show you some really amazing stuff today that I think you'll find amazing, to say the least, right? And I'm going to show you some of my frameworks to basically how to get that done. I'll show you essentially how we do this process and how we get through this and how we're able to achieve these types of results. All right. And one more thing before we get started, do you guys want to save some money? You guys into saving money? All right, so I see a couple yeses here. So if you want to save some money, then make sure you stick around to the end because I'm gonna have a coupon code ready for you at the end of this session, right? We have a sale going on right now, so I can get you actually, we'll save you guys quite a bit of money, and if you stick around to the end, I'll get that code for you, that coupon code, right? So make sure you stick around to the end. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the agenda. So this is what we're going to be covering today. So first of all, I'm going to be giving you the slides here. So let me copy these slides over. And I'm going to put into the chat. There you go. Okay, so if you guys want to follow along, you can check the meeting chat, the Zoom chat here. It's a little chat icon. You can click on the link and you can actually follow along with what I'm going through in the slides here today with you. All right. After that, I'm gonna spend some time getting to know you guys because you guys are the stars of the show. So I'm gonna ask you essentially to tell me a little bit about yourselves, so I can tailor this to you, so I can learn a bit about you and kind of speak towards the things that you care about. Then I'll tell you really quickly about myself, kind of my background, and why you should care at all, anything I have to say. Then we'll walk through the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading. I think you'll find them very enlightening. I have some stories to tell you that I think you'll really, really appreciate, and you'll see kind of, where I'm coming from with this and where our students are coming from and where our whole community is coming from with all these different things. So we'll talk about the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading. Then I'll walk you through some case studies of some past students that have gone through our full program. And then we'll talk about the all access plan. If you guys want to join on board for longer term and kind of join our whole program going forward, we'll talk about that and how you can get involved with that as well, right? I also have questions left over for the end, but that does not mean that you can't ask questions throughout this whole presentation. Make sure that you ask questions throughout this whole thing. You can ask them at the end. I'll have some time left over at the end, but it's a lot more interesting when this presentation is interactive. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. You can even turn your microphone and ask questions as well. This is live. It's the whole reason why this is live, so we can actually have that dialogue, all right? Okay, so let's dive into it. So first of all, let's get to know who's on this call. So if you guys could type this into the chat, there's 3 questions here. Do you know, number one, what is your occupation? Right. So what do you guys do for a living? Are you guys software engineers, truck drivers, entrepreneurs? What do you guys do for a living? Do you guys work on Wall Street? We have a lot of people that work on Wall Street. We tend to get a lot of people that work in finance. We get a lot of people that, have worked in software. We get a lot of people that are entrepreneurs. We get all sorts of very wide variety of people. So let me know which one of the above that this is that you guys are. Number 2, let me know, do you know how to program? Have you ever coded before in your life? And if so, how long have you been programming? How long have you been programming for? And then number 3, how much investment experience do you have? How long have you been investing for? Is this a brand new thing to you, or have you been doing this for the past, 10, 20 years? All right. Feel free to type that into the chat and or yeah, type it into chat, please. Yeah, so I could read it off here. So we have a few people typing this out. Alvaro says data science is your occupation. That's very cool. I think when you apply the stuff that you learn to finance, you'll see that you can do some really, really amazing things. So it's awesome that you're here, Alvaro. Very cool. Lawrence says retired, never programmed before, but 20 years of investment experience. That's very cool, Lawrence. It's awesome. As I mentioned before, you do not need to be a coder to be part of our programs. We have a lot of things where we can actually build out code for you. So if you have any kind of trading strategies, you've been doing this for 20 years, if you have any strategies that you've been using, we can actually automate that for you, back test that for you. We actually have a lot of code that you can use to automate a lot of what you're doing. So we'll make that very, very simple for you, Lawrence. You definitely do not have to be a coder. We have a lot of stuff that you can just use right out of the box. Or we could actually even build that for you during our classes. I'll tell you a little bit more about that today. Brian Austin says, never coded, invested for 10 years. Very cool. Welcome, Brian. How's it going? It's very cool that, and again, you do not have to be a coder for joining our programs. We have a lot of stuff already built for you. As I mentioned earlier today, we're actually making a new program where what I plan on doing actually, I was talking to someone that this would be actually a pretty cool little advertisement type thing, is I'm going to get my mother, who is not very good with computers. I'm going to actually get her to make a trading algorithm, and I'm going to time her, and I bet you we can get her to do it within 15 minutes. All right. So I'm going to show you guys that. We're going to actually record that and send that out. That's how easy this stuff is becoming. You do not have to be a programmer to get into this sort of thing. We've made it very, very simple. If you are a coder, you can take it really to the next stages. There's a lot that you can run with. We have a lot of resources for you. But if you've never coded before, we really make it quite simple for you to jump into it. Again, 15 minutes. That's all it takes to get started. All right. Darian says he's an IT technician. Welcome, Darian. Very cool. Jesus says, I'm in the financial area. Very cool. We got a lot of people in finance, and I feel like you guys are awesome in our programs as well, because we can take your finance knowledge and apply it to all of our coding and actually build out the things that you're thinking about, and you can modify what we have. So it's very cool that you're in the financial area. You don't know how to program. Again, already spoke about that. You don't need to know how to program, so that's great. And you have about 3 years of basic investment experience. Very cool. Awesome. Welcome, Jesus. Darian says, I have 4 years investment experience. Very cool. And don't know how to program again. Trey says, I'm in IT for 22 years, no coding experience. Awesome. So it sounds like we have a lot of people today that are not coders. We had one person here who's a data scientist. That's very cool. If that is you, if you are the data scientist, if you are the coder, we have a lot of great code for you to use. We have some very advanced programs that'll show you how to do some really, really crazy stuff with code. But again, if you've never coded a day in your life, like I said, we're making a brand new program, 15 minutes, get up and running. We make it very, very easy to get started. We have a lot of classes where you can basically join in and make this very simple. If you have an idea that you want to build out, if you've been trading using a specific strategy, we can actually make that stuff for you. So you do not have to be a coder to be inside of our program. That's actually something we've worked very, very hard on over the years. Cool. So thank you guys for telling me about yourselves. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, right, and where I'm coming from. Hello, my name is Robert Grezik. I have about 25 years of programming experience. I'm one of those kids that started coding at a very young age. I think I was like 10 or 12 when I started coding, so it's been a very long time. I have a master's in finance degree, so I've been doing finance for quite some time. Started working towards my CFA. If you guys know what that is, I actually got pretty deep into that. I've 10 years of experience working in financial technology firms and on Wall Street. I've actually built out some pretty big brokerage firms and things like that. So actually have quite a bit of experience in that. One of the things I created when I was working on Wall Street was I helped create an app that to date has, I think, processed I'm saying 50 billion, but I think it's actually quite a bit past that. I think we're more like 70 or 80 billion dollars in mortgages. The app that I helped create. Essentially, I was working for a company for their CEO. It's a pretty big mortgage company called Greystone. It was my job to essentially build out their tech team and create a brand new application for them to make mortgages easier to process. And built that out. And today, like I said, $50 billion in mortgages. I think probably actually a lot more than that. I also helped create after that another company called Voyager. You guys may have heard of them. It's basically when I joined, it was just the four of us in a WeWork, right? It was basically nothing. It was just an idea and a dream. Essentially, we took that app, built out something that looks a lot like Coinbase. If you guys are familiar, it's basically a broker that can trade crypto coins. I helped build that thing out, or helped build the whole team around that. Again, early stage employee there. We took that company basically from zero, didn't exist, all the way up until being worth about $3 billion at one point in time on the stock market. So that was actually a really fun ride. Being able to build something from nothing to turn into something that large was very, very cool. So definitely, I have my chops in the Wall Street world and the crypto world. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. All right. I'm also managing a couple $1 million in investments between myself and others, my family's money and some friends and things like that. So I've definitely been managing money for quite some time, and actually growing a bit. I'll tell you my story in a little bit. But I wasn't always like this, right? This is, I've gotten to this point that I feel very proud of where we've gotten to. I feel like we can go a lot further, but I wasn't always like this. Years ago, in 2008 specifically, I blew up my entire investment account. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to manage my risk well and all that. I basically lost all my money. I was relying on others for investment advice. This was before I got my master's in finance, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I lost all my money in the stock market, right? So I've been there, right? If that's you, if that's happened to you, if you've gone through that scenario, I've been there. You know what I mean? And I've been able to go from that situation to a situation where now I'm managing like millions of dollars, where my investment portfolio is worth quite a bit, and my family's investment portfolio is worth quite a bit. So if that's you and you hit that point in your life, you lost some money in the stock market, I've been there. I know exactly where you come from. Right. Okay, cool. So do you guys want to hear the three secrets? It's basically what this is all about, right? Do you guys want to hear the three secrets to algorithmic trading? All right, cool. Okay, so let's dive into it. Okay, so secret number one. Secret number one, and it's a very important one, and it is called back testing. If you guys have never heard of back testing before, what essentially it is it's being able to go back in history and say, if I had a strategy, what would have happened in the past, right? So if I had a certain strategy where I buy the S&P when something happens and I buy this or whatever, what would have happened over the past 10 years and what kind of results would I have gotten, right? So let me tell you a story about why this is so important, and why and how this helped me make a very, very big difference in my life, right? So here's my story, right? So essentially, it was 2008, like I mentioned, and basically lost all my life savings. At the time, at around $30,000 I saved up. It's pretty hard for me to save that up. I was like really working quite hard and put away like every penny that I had. So when I blew up my life savings, I was really not happy about it, right? To say the least. Definitely not a good time. Obviously, I felt terrible. It took me a while to save that up, but it really gave me the fire that I needed to learn how to do this stuff better, right? So what I did was I applied for my Master's of Finance program at a school called Schulich. You probably never heard of it before. It's basically like an Ivy League in Canada, right? So essentially, I got approved to a couple Ivy Leagues in the U.S., the Carnegie Mellon, a few others. And then I look at the bill of how much it would cost. I'm like, it was like $250,000 to go to Carnegie Mellon, or it was like $20,000 to go to this school. Government subsidized stuff, right? But very good education. Like I said, very hard to get into this school, so I was very proud that I actually got in. And when I got in there, what I learned really just blew my mind, right? The professors that were there, they're amazing people. They had managed billions of dollars. These are people that, have been in the industry for quite some time and, ran really large investment funds and things like that. And they taught a really different approach to what I was used to doing with investing, right? Like I kind of had some ideas in my mind. I was looking at PE ratios and things like that. But the way that they taught it was very mathematical, and a lot of focus on risk management, right? So I really absorbed all this stuff. I learned a lot about all these different things. It really blew my mind. It's a very intense school to say the least. They like to torture us with assignments. We worked very, very long hours in this school. But on top of that, even outside of those crazy hours, I basically spent all my extra time outside of schoolwork creating these like big Excel spreadsheets, right? So I basically was trying to figure out what the heck did I do wrong? Why did I lose all this money in 2008? Right? So I basically made this giant Excel spreadsheet and put in all these different stock tickers and said, okay, well, here's the price of each of those stock tickers from, the year 2000 up until, 2010 it was, or when I was doing this. And I was like, okay, well, if I invested my money in here, what would have happened, right? And what if I bought it when the PE ratio was low? What if I had sold it in this situation? What if I had taken on a little bit of leverage? What if I had done this? What if I had done that? I ran all the different scenarios, right? And when I ran these scenarios, it became really, really obvious as to why I lost all this money. It's like I was just over leveraged. I was buying things in exactly the wrong time and I shouldn't be doing it. And I was like, this made a lot of sense, right? And I was like, holy crap, obviously, like I would have lost my money doing this stuff, right? It was just not smart investing. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, how do I do it right? And basically, once I figured that out, I took it and I applied it to my life, right? So I took all that experience and I put it into all my savings, right? And at that point in time, actually was kind of a difficult point in my life as well. My father had passed away around that time in my life. Um, which obviously was not a good situation. But what happened at that time was basically, the family's money was always managed by my father, right? He was always the one managing it. And when he passed away, that duty fell onto me, right? Because, I'm the guy with the master's in finance. No one else in my family knew how the heck to manage money. So they're like, hey, Rob, what do we do with this? Right. So I'm like, okay. So I put together a plan, all the stuff that I basically ran through in school, all this back testing that I had done, right? All these Excel spreadsheets I had built very manually, right? I applied all that to this investment portfolio, right? I think at the time, it was something like $200,000. It was like all the money that my dad ever saved up in his entire life. Actually, my whole family saved up in their entire lives. Basically, took that and ran it through the thing that made the most sense when we were actually doing all this planning or doing all this back testing. And holy crap, did that pay off? So not only did my investment portfolio turn out very well, right? Made quite a bit of money off that. But I was able to create my mom into a multimillionaire, right? I managed a stock portfolio. I also helped her get into some real estate assets. And right now I can say that my mom's a multimillionaire. She has more money than she knows what to do with. She's been traveling all around the world. She goes to Poland for 4 months out of the year, just travels, just whatever. She's buying a house in Poland for her sister, right? She like the other day she was telling me she wanted to go travel with one of her friends, but her friend doesn't have enough money because she didn't save up for her retirement. And she's like, you know what? I'll just pay for her trip, whatever. We'll go to Cancun together. So it's like, like basically FU money that my mom has now, which is very cool. Um, all from that little seed when we started, right? I also grew my wife's portfolio quite a bit. When we got married, I took over her investment portfolio. I could tell you that we actually took money out of it to help start our business. And even after taking money out of it, that thing is still more than doubled since we took over. Basically, I was able to make her more money in the time, and I think that, in basically a time, the past 2 years or whatever since we were married than she made in the past 10 years of her investing, right? So we made a heck of a lot more money doing that since we took over a portfolio. And me personally, my investment account's doing really well. Actually, I could even show you one of my accounts here and show you a couple of them if you guys are interested. Here's one of them that's just been absolutely taken off like a rocket ship. I put in, I think in this one was 25K earlier this year. It's almost at 50K or 45K right now. I'll show you that. It's loading up. It's 40. There you go. There's a nice little picture of that one that was 40 something K. We have another one with like 100K in it. We have another one with like a million. Like we got a bunch of accounts. They're all doing extremely well, right? So, and how did that happen, right? All of that I attribute back to this moment here at Schulich, going through this back testing and essentially figuring out if we had followed these specific steps, if we had invested in a specific way, things would have worked out very well. And lo and behold, that's actually what did end up happening, right? So back testing, that's secret number one. If you guys are not doing back testing, if you guys are investing without doing back testing, not understanding what would have happened in the scenario in the past, using your strategies they have right now, you are at a significant disadvantage. Let me tell you that much, right? So I know some of you guys have your own investment strategies. You want to invest in, whatever tech stocks, or you want to. Some people tell me technical analysis they buy in certain situations, whatever. If you're not back testing that, you're at a big disadvantage. So very, very strongly recommend if you guys are not doing back testing, that is number one thing. It has literally changed my life very dramatically, and I believe it can make a very big impact in yours, right? So that's secret number one. Okay, cool. Secret number two, yeah, is something we can help you guys out with a lot, is if you're going to be doing algo trading, if you're going to be doing algorithmic trading, you're going to be building your own trading robots, don't do this stuff from scratch. You do not need to build things from scratch, right? Use existing code and collaborate with others, right? This can save you literally hours of work, many, many hours of work, and it can save you a lot of very expensive mistakes, right? A lot of people go off and try to build their own algorithms from scratch, even if you are a coder. That is a very difficult endeavor to go down, right? So if you're going to be doing this sort of thing, make sure that you're using existing code and collaborate with others on how to do this stuff. So let me tell you a story about this, right? Let me tell you a story about this secret. So one of our students, he's part of our pro plan. He's been with us for the past, I think, 5 years, or 5 years, 5 months. So I'm talking about 5 years. He's been with us for the past 5 months. And when he joined, he had a few strategies that he's been doing that he was trading manually, right? One of those strategies was this strategy that he calls UVXY trading, right? So essentially, if you look up the ticker symbol UVXY, what it is it's a ticker symbol that basically goes straight down, right? Um, so if it goes straight down, you're thinking, why the heck would you want to invest in that, right? Well, it's actually a very good stock to short, right? So it looks something like this. If you look up UVXY, right? We'll look at this thing here. It is essentially a graph that goes straight down. Yeah. So if you look at this, look at that. It goes straight down, right? So this is a perfect thing to short, okay? If you short a stock, you're actually making money on its way down. So that's essentially what he does, is he has a strategy where he shorts the UVXY and does it with like a little bit of like Bollinger Bands and things like that. And he's been making good money off it, right? So he brought it up during one of our classes. And if you guys join our full program, you can join in on this class too. We have this every Tuesday. We actually had this yesterday, and we built out a really cool algorithm yesterday. I think yesterday we built out like an options algorithm that does credit spreads, and we were able to do all that kind of stuff. But every week we're basically building something new, right? And one of the weeks he suggested, why don't we build this UVXY bot? Okay. So like, okay, sure, let's try it out, right? So we tried it out and we basically built this thing. So what it does is it automatically will sell UVXY, will short sell it based off of like Bollinger Bands and things like that. And when we back tested this thing, it was like crazy. I was like, holy crap, this thing, I think it was making like almost 80% a year, 70% a year. It was this really ridiculous looking graph. It just takes off. And I'll show you this in a second, actually, what it looks like. Really, really impressive graph, right? So we see this and we're like, holy shit, this is amazing, right? So we were able to actually take that. We even were able to modify it, right? So he was doing this strategy. We were able to modify it even more and really were able to perfect it. Like, okay, what if we change this? What if we change that? We were able to do that with backtesting. And we gave that to Worth, and he's been running it ever since. Last I heard, he was actually making some pretty good money doing this. He started actually trading this thing, right? He traded it with fake money for a bit, and lately he's actually been trading it with real money. And instead of him having to do this stuff manually, now this thing is able to do it for him automatically, right? So he has this trading strategy that he's been doing manually. We back tested it, perfected it, and then now he can just run it automatically, right? But that's not even the best part, right? So for him, that's really helpful. And he's, I speak to him all the time and he's doing really well with this. He's very interested in this and other algorithms as well. But what's even better about this is that this wasn't just created for him, right? It's created for everyone that's in this class as well. So if you guys were to join in with our full classes, you can actually get this code and you can run it, right? So essentially what this does is it creates this community of all of us creating code and creating algorithms every single week. You guys don't have to do the coding. I'm usually one that does the coding, but we're creating something new every single week, right? And when we create this stuff, you're able to, first of all, get these really good strategies from other people, right? Because everyone comes up with, I have some of my own ideas for strategies, but the people that are in our classes, they're friggin' amazing. Like they have some really, really interesting things that they're doing, and they're making a lot of money doing this stuff. When we automate it, when I actually build it, we're able to see, first of all, is that a good idea? And we could explore it and really delve deep into the nitty gritty of it. But then also you can get that code and run it yourself. Right. So it's essentially, it's like teamwork, it's like that Fast and the Furious thing. It's like, it's like family. But that's really what it is, right? We're like a family of people that are building trading algorithms together, and we're all able to use this, right? We've been building a lot of stuff on iron condors lately, some really interesting option strategies, and all of these things you guys can actually use yourselves and run them, right? So not only is it that if you have a strategy that you want to have built, we can build that for you, but also you can get other people's strategies and just use those. And we have a lot of them. We have like literally over 100 strategies now, and they're all really, really amazing. And we're actually using these strategies, by the way, to build out a hedge fund. That's a whole other thing, right? If you guys are interested in investing in a hedge fund, let me know, because we're going to be raising a couple $1 million soon for a hedge fund. Only for people, like I think $250,000 is the minimum investment that we're going to have. But we're able to build all these things out because we have this giant community of people building these things, right? We have a lot more strategies from everyone in the group. It's things that you could use together. And really all the strategies that are in this class are the ones that are the best of the best, right? It's everyone's best strategies all combined into one, and we're kind of like a hive mind, all figuring this stuff out together, right? So really, really cool stuff. And let me show you a couple of them. Here's a few strategies. We have a lot more where this came from. If you guys are interested in options, you guys are interested in crypto, you guys are interested in stock trading, we have a whole bunch of really cool stuff. But let me show you a couple of them, right? So here's that strategy that we built for Worth a couple months back. This is that strategy that basically trades the UVXY, shorts it, and basically uses Bollinger Bands to, kind of get in and out at the right times. And here is the blue line is the actual strategy, what would have happened over this time period, right? So this is hypothetical results from 2021, but I could tell you Worth has been running it and seeing this actually happening in live as well. This is hypothetical results from the past, was this 4 years, right? The past 4 years. If you had invested in this, is what would have happened to your money, right? And that compares to the S&P 500, which is this yellow line down here. And by the way, the S&P lately has actually been on a tear. It's one of the best investment vehicles that we know of, right? And this thing just looks like an absolute monster compared to it, right? So what do the numbers look like? Well, essentially, if you had invested in January 1st, 2021 and held it until about the end of last year, you would have made a 708% return, meaning you would have made almost 10 times your money in what, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? 4 years, 10 times your money, right? Challenge you to find anything else that can make you that kind of return, right? That over the same time period, the S&P did 20% over that same time period, right? So we're talking about a massive difference versus the S&P, right? If you break that down per year, that's about 72% per year for this algorithm versus about 5% a year for the S&P 500, right? If you look at, we have the rest of the metrics here, you can see that the max drawdown, it is a little bit riskier, right? So with some reward, definitely comes with a little bit of risk. We have a max drawdown of around 50% versus a max drawdown of about 25% for the S&P 500. But as you can see here, this is probably that drop, the 50% drop, right? That's a blip compared to the whole thing that's happened, right? So very interesting strategy. I could see exactly why Worth was very interested in this. If you guys join our program, you can actually take this code and run this. We have this code available. You can actually grab this, run this code. You can have this up and running by tonight if you wanted to. Right? Okay, so that's one strategy. Here's another strategy that we worked on. So we worked on this one strategy where basically we wanted to see if we could replicate basically what banks do. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at these securities. They're called market linked GICs, is I think what they're called, right? And basically it's like you go to the bank and you'll give them some money and they'll promise you a specific return, kind of like a minimum, right? You'll make at least 2%, right? But if the stock market does really well, will pay you up to 12% or something like that, right? They have like this range. Okay, so they're able to reduce the losses by quite a bit, but also provide you with a big upside. So it's a very interesting kind of vehicle to be in. So we're thinking, could we actually take that and do something very similar with it, right? So that's when we created this strategy here. Let me hold on. We have some chats here. So Paul asks, how much does it cost? I'll get into that. We have a few different plans. It depends on what you want to join. We have our all access plan, we have our pro plan, and we have our starter plan, right? So we have a whole spectrum. It goes, starter plan starts at like $1. The all access plan goes up to like $700 a month. So it depends on kind of what you want to do, right? This to get this code, to get some of this more advanced code, we're talking about the all access plan, but even with the starter plan, you get a lot of stuff too. But I'll get to that. I'll tell you guys kind of the whole thing. We also have a sale going on right now too. So I'll tell you guys about that. So Jim says, you're not going to show losers. Actually, you could watch our stuff if you want. If you join our starter plan, you could actually see our strategies going one at a time, right? Like you can see how these things are doing. So here's basically some of our strategies. Here's one of them running, right? Here's what it's been doing more recently. This is the past week. For one of our strategies, our EMA trending, it's up in the past 7 days, up 10% in the past 7 days, past 30 days, or sorry, 7 days up 10%, past 30 days up almost 7% as well. Our Congress trading bot, this one's been up a little bit as well, kind of not really doing too much. You can actually watch these strategies as you go, right? So I like being very transparent. This one in the past 30 days, up 5% in the past 30 days. Since we started this one off on November 10th, up almost 20%, right? So, and these are not even our best strategies, by the way. These are some of our more basic ones that don't use options and don't use any of our fancy stuff. So you could actually watch them if you want, right? If you join a star plan, you can actually watch our strategies trade day by day. Here, I'm basically showing you some of our back testing results of some of the ones that we found to be more interesting, to say the least, right? So, okay, cool. So good questions, guys, right? Okay, cool. So here's a strategy that we built out where basically we're trying to mimic kind of what these market link GACs are doing, right? So when we built this thing out, what this thing does essentially is it will put the majority of the strategy's money into a very safe asset, right? So something in this case, I think it uses US VF or something like that. I think it's a ticker symbol. It's basically a variable interest rate ETF. It's kind of like a savings account. It's, it doesn't have the same insurances as a savings account, but pays a similar type of interest rate, and it doesn't move a lot in terms of its price. So 96% of your money is in this really, really safe asset, right? In this back test. And then 4% of the money is in a call option, right? If you guys don't know what a call option is, it's essentially an option that bets on the stocks going up, right? But it bets on it in like a leveraged fashion, right? So when we did this and we back tested it, we were able to see a very interesting kind of pattern, right? So here's 4%, right? We actually tested 4%, 6%, 8%. I'll show you that. When we put 4% of our money into this, what we ended up getting was from 2020 up until about the end of 2023, it had a pretty similar return to the stock market, right? It had about a 90% return over that same time period. The stock market did 77%. So it beat the stock market by a little bit. So in other words, 13% a year versus 11% a year for the stock market. But what's really interesting about the strategy is that it was able to accomplish the same returns as the stock market, but with a lower risk. The max drawdown, meaning the biggest loss that this portfolio saw, right? So if you're investing in something, right? If you're buying the stock market, right? Like if you saw 2008 and you lost half of your money, how would that make you feel? Hey, I'm sure you wouldn't feel very good about that, right? What this strategy does is gets rid of that, right? Or at least historically has gotten rid of that. So you can see here during COVID, it didn't fall as much. You could see that when things were falling here during the bear market, it didn't fall as much. So it's a much more stable. It's kind of just going straight through, straight line through. So you can see that it's a lot less risky, but has a similar return to the stock market, right? Okay, so we're like, okay, so if we can do that with 4%, what would happen with 6%? So essentially we put in 6%, we leverage it up a little bit. We got a very nice return, right? So what ended up happening with the 6% is we got, instead of the same amount of return as the stock market, we got almost double, right? Here's again, the blue line is our strategy, the back test, and in the yellow is the S&P 500. And you can see, first of all, it was above the S&P the entire way through, pretty much, and had a pretty similar risk profile, but ended up with about double the return at the end of the day, right? So it ended up with 134% at the end of these, this is 4 years, right? At the end of the 4 years, ended up getting about double the returns of the stock market for about the same risk, right? So, who would want that, right? The same risk as the stock market, but you're getting double the amount of returns. I think that's a pretty damn nice thing. And that's basically what this back test is showing. That's what you would have gotten if you had invested in this strategy since 2020 January, right? So, okay, so if that worked with 6%, what about 8%, right? And this is the advantage of being able to back test stuff, right? Is you're able to tweak things. You're able to play around with them. Like, what if I did this and what if I did that, right? In this case, we put it to 8% and we see this monster return, right? If you had invested 8% of your money into call options and put the rest of it, 92%, into a safe asset like the USFR, right? And basically, this is rolling call options every month. Every month, it's making a new call option, basically holding it pretty much until the very end. If you had put 8% of your money into that over this time period, from 2020 January, you would have had about 5 times your money, more than 5 times your money, a 430% return over this time period. Absolutely smoked the S&P 500. Is a bigger drawdown, so this would definitely been something that your stomach would have been a little bit, at times you've been a little bit worried. At the end of the day, 430% return, a very, very large payoff at the very end of the day. And so really nice back test result here. So again, this is what you can do when you back test. You could try these things out. You can see, what if I did this and what if I did that, right? And I'm going to tell you, we built this strategy not too long ago. I'm actually going to put my own money into this very shortly. We're building out some new technology that I'm going to actually put in my own cash into strategy soon, and we're building a hedge fund actually around this whole thing too. Okay, cool. So Alvaro, so I'm just going to read off some questions here. So Alvaro asks, which brokers use to run them? It depends on which strategy. These strategies here that I was showing you, these are all run on Alpaca, which is this broker right here. They're a broker that's friendly to algorithmic trading. They're like an API first broker, so we're able to connect to them and actually trade with them. We're going to be also using another broker called Tradier, which I'm setting up right now to do options trading as well. And that broker is absolutely a fantastic broker. It's like $10 a month, free options trades for just $10 a month. It's really, really cool. But yeah, so the broker, it really does depend. Like there's specific types of brokers that we have to work with because there's certain types of brokers that allow for algo trading to happen. Right, so Alpaca is one of them. Tradier is another one. Most of the crypto brokers are pretty open to it, but there are specific brokers. Jim asked the questions. I have 5 bots. They have win rates that are similar. People only care about cost, not performance, unless you are coding losers. What do you mean people only care about cost, not performance? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jim. Performance is definitely the main thing that you want to be paying attention to. At the end of the day, you want to make money, right? So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Alvaro says, buy or sell the call. In this case, we're buying the call. We're buying a call and we're rolling it. Right? Jim says, I'm sold. Can you post a link to join so I could watch Trump? How much are you charging for this? So Jim, we have a couple of different programs. If you go to our website, lumiwealth.com, you'll see a few of them up there. We also are running a sale right now. we have a New Year's sale going on right now for 30% off. So if you want to check that out too. But we have a few different programs. If you want to get access to all of these, this is $600 a month, right? $599 a month to get access to all of the strategies. But we also have other plans too. If that's too much, we have a starter plan, which is $1 to get started, then $50 a month after. We have a pro plan, which you can get involved in for $250 a month. The URL is lumiwealth.com. So www.lumiwealth.com. Awesome, cool. All right. Another question we have here. Paul says, does it trade cryptocurrency smart contracts? We don't have any bots currently that trade smart contracts, but I'd actually like to build something like that. That sounds like a very interesting thing to do. We have essentially a thing that we do every Tuesday. Like I said, we build algorithms every Tuesday. If you were to join in, we could actually try to build something like that during the Tuesday class. I'd be interested to hear kind of, what are your ideas around that? We could definitely take a look at building something like that. Very cool. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. Good questions. Cool. All right. Okay. Let me show you another one. So here's another algorithm that we built during class. So here is an algorithm that trades based off of Congress, right? So you guys have probably heard this a lot in the news lately. Nancy Pelosi is, worth something like $100 million when her salary is like 200 grand. How the hell is she so rich, right? Well, a lot of it is because she can make these bets that other people can't bet on, right? So in other words, she's an insider, right? So if you look at her stock portfolio, which is legally she has to declare everything that she's buying to the SEC. If you follow what Nancy Pelosi has been investing in, she has made like 100% a year with her investments. She has been very, very bang on with all her investments. Why is that, right? Why are these members of Congress making so much money? Well, first of all, they have the advantage of insider information, right? So they know if a law is going to get passed. They speak to the heads of all these companies and learn about all these new products that they're making. So they have a lot of insider information about how to, what companies are going to do well and that sort of thing. And on top of that, not only do they have insider information, but they're even better than insiders because they can influence policy to influence these companies, right? To change how these companies, to the trajectory of how these things are going to grow. So, for example, if you go, there's a bunch of websites to do this, right? Congress Trading. So here's like capitaltrades.com, for example. You can go into here and you can actually look at what all members of Congress are buying, right? So you can see here, there's a Republican from Georgia that just bought some Ethereum. Really good timing. It actually is up 10% last time I checked today. So that guy, why did he buy that? Probably because he knew that this bill was about to get passed for the Bitcoin ETF, right? That makes a lot of sense. This guy's buying at a perfect time here. If you had followed his trade, you would have made some really good money, right? Another person here, Laurel Lee, just bought Alibaba. Actually, no, sorry, just sold Alibaba. Why the heck did she sell it? What does she know that we don't, right? Are they passing some sort of policies that's going to make Alibaba worse off, right? This person, Virginia Fox, Republican from North Carolina, bought Cross Timbers Royalty Trust. Why did they buy that, right? Do they know something that we don't know? Okay. These are, if you're looking at these things, Josh bought AMD, right? Like there's some really good bets in here, right? If you actually follow these trades by Congress people, they've made really, really good bets. So what we did was we made an algorithm that could basically follow these trades, right? So what it does is it goes to websites like this, right? Like this Capital Trades, not specifically this one, but ones like this, pulls all the trades that these Congress members have made and basically follows them, right? This one in particular, we've made a few different flavors of this. There's different ways they could slice this. But basically what this one does is it looks over the past 48 days and takes a tally of how much each stock was bought, right? So if 4 different Congress members bought Google, right? That's 4 ticks, right? If one person bought Microsoft, that's one tick. If two people bought Apple, right? We're taking a tally of that. And then anything that has 4 or more trades, we're investing into it, right? We're going to actually buy that with this algorithm. Okay. So what happened when we did that and we back tested it, we got these crazy spectacular results, which is not surprising if you think about it, right? These guys definitely have a lot of inside information, right? So here's the blue line. Here's our strategy of basically following members of Congress. And then here's the yellow line, which is S&P 500. And you can see here that we just absolutely annihilated the S&P 500, right? The back test just shows, if we had been doing this, we would have doubled our money essentially in the past 2 years. Whereas the S&P only did about 10%, right? So a 90% return versus 9, like 10 times the stock market, literally 10 times the stock market's return over this time period. And what's really interesting about it is that not only did it beat the S&P, but it did it with less risk. It had a lower drawdown, had a lower max drawdown than the S&P 500, right? So, and you can even see that here. Like, look at this. The S&P is going down, and this stock portfolio is going up. How did the Congress members know that? Right? Well, we're using that, right? They legally have to declare what they're buying. So we're basically just copying them. That's all we're doing, right? So here's another strategy. If you guys want to get this strategy, again, join our full classes. You can get this code. You can run it yourself. You can even follow it, right? We have, again, our this one here, Congress Trading. The Congress members haven't been buying too much lately. They've been a little quiet lately, but I think they're going to come back over the next few months because we're in the middle of a bear market. It was the holidays, but you could follow it here, right? As part of our trading signals, you can actually get alerted every single time that we find a stock that matches that criteria, right? That's all part of our plans. You get to have the code if you want to run it yourself, or you could just follow the signals and follow the trades day by day, right? So here's another bot, our Congress trading bot. Okay. Let me show you one more. I could show you tons of these. We literally have like 100 different bots. And again, I'm building a hedge fund for those of you that we're gonna have a minimum investment of something like $250,000. So if you're serious about investing, we're putting together a hedge fund. But what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be taking a bunch of these strategies and running like 20 of them at a time, right? And we're going to have a hedge fund like that, where it's basically all these new strategies that we invent, we're putting in, and it's going to be managing people's money that way. Right? That's essentially what we're building right now too. Okay, let me show you another one. Here's our option straddle. Here's a straddle strategy for those of you that trade options. Yeah. What this does is basically invest in a straddle. It's selling both a put and a call, and basically just rolling it every month, right? So sells a put and a call this month, waits 30 days, and then sells it again next month, waits 30 days, so it sells again next month. It just constantly is doing that. When we back tested it, this is the result that we got. Blue line is our strategy. The yellow line is S&P 500. Some of these option strategies that we're making lately, the back testing results are blowing my mind. Like, holy crap, there's a lot of money to be made in options. This is really impressive, right? Like, we're talking about here from 2020 up until about now, the back testing is showing us that in 4 years, would have made a 250% return. That's versus S&P, which would have made only 35%. So again, what is that? 7 times the stock market's return. Very large difference, right? You do have a larger drawdown. There is risks involved in this. It doesn't come without risks. But given the fact that it's doing, what is that, 7 times the return, a little bit higher risk, for us, if you're talking about me and what I'm investing in our hedge fund, we take this, we put this part of our portfolio, we make sure that we manage our risks well, and this is a very nice addition to it, right? We can make quite a bit of money investing in all these things together, right? Cool. So that's a couple of our strategies, right? So that's, you're putting together now the 2 secrets, right? We're back testing stuff, right? So you can see how back testing is really valuable. You can see, instead of following some guy on YouTube that's saying, oh yeah, you got to buy when there's a hammer pattern or whatever the heck is going on. I can actually show you, like, we actually do this in class. If you join us on Tuesdays, we could take your idea, build it, see what it would have done over the past 5, 10 years, and you can have a much better informed decision as to whether you should be investing or not. And not only can we back test it, but we have all these people coming in. We have all these really smart people coming in and coming up with new strategies. These are not strategies that I'm inventing, by the way. These are strategies that our community is coming up with. Every week, I ask the question, what do you guys want to build today? And everyone discusses it. Everyone presents their case, and then we take a vote. What do we build today? Right? This is one of those days, right? We built an option strategy. And holy crap, it seems like a great idea, right? So yeah, so if you want to be part of that, again, you could join our full class and you could be part of our community and all that. Okay, cool. So that's secret number two, use existing code. We have lots of existing code and collaborate with others. We have a lot of stuff available for you. If you guys want to get this code, let me know. We can join our classes, right? Our full classes. So Alvaro asks, intraday or end of day data used for backtest. It depends on the backtest. Most of them use intraday data because we want to be as accurate as possible, right? But some of them, actually, I think all of these use intraday data. It kind of depends on what we need. But yeah, I think all of these that I showed you use intraday data, specifically minute-to-minute data is what we're using here. Okay, cool. Secret number three. So secret number three is use AI tools, right? So AI tools, I'm sure you guys know by now, holy crap, they can do amazing things. And specifically, they're really, really good for investing, and they're really, really good for helping build out code, right? They're really good for building software. I was joking today. I'm building some new thing to connect to a new broker called Tradier. I'm building this thing out today. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, holy crap, I'm doing this stuff so fast. Like literally, I asked ChatGPT to build something, and it built it for me in like 15 seconds, something that would have taken me an entire day to do. You know what I mean? It's crazy what these AI tools can do. So let me tell you a story first, and I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to use AI for this kind of stuff, right? So here's a story of one of our students. Her name is Latoya. She joined us, I think, like 10 months ago, maybe a little bit longer now. She's a very active member of our community. If you actually join our Discord, she was even asking questions yesterday. She's a very active member of what we do. When she joined us, she had zero programming knowledge. And I mean, she worked as a pharmacist, barely knew how to use a computer, right? Like she had zero coding knowledge at all, right? When she joined her classes, we taught her basically how to use ChatGPT. We taught her how to use something called GitHub Copilot. We showed her a couple other techniques on how to use this stuff because it's not just, oh yeah, here's ChatGPT and run with it. There's specific ways in doing this stuff to use it effectively. And we basically taught her, how to use these things to generate code from scratch. How do you modify code? How do you deal with error messages? We taught her all those types of things, right? And after she went through our classes, she was able to build some very complex bots, right? She built a bot that impressed the hell out of me. Let me tell you that, because this is a person that joined my class and she like didn't know how to code at all. Like she's like, what is an if statement? She had no idea what the heck coding was, right? And a month later, she's showing me like this crazy advanced bot. I'm like, what the hell? This thing came out of nowhere. And this is, by the way, part-time. She had a full-time job during this, right? Holy crap, right? What she built was she built this really complex bot that basically goes on Discord. And you know how there's a bunch of these companies out there that give like trading signals, right? A lot of them are nonsense, right? A lot of them are like, yeah, listen to my trading signals. It's like $50 a month and whatever, right? But then when you actually look at their trading signals, they're like doing a terrible job, you know? So she actually built a bot that can do that, right? She built a bot that first of all can go into Discord and copy them, right? So if they said buy this, the bot would actually go off and buy it. Okay, so it's able to actually execute those trades for her. And second of all, she's able to actually record all these trades and she's able to see who's full of crap and who's not, right? Who's actually good at giving signals and who is just like doing this to make a buck, right? So anyways, I went through this. I saw she built this bot. It was like 1,000 lines of code. I was like, holy crap, this is super advanced. And last I heard, it was making some really good trades for her. She's making some money doing this. It's very, very cool. But not only did she build this bot, which is extremely impressive, The reason why she was able to build it, by the way, was AI. We taught her how to do this stuff. But not only was she able to build this bot, but when she put this on her resume, she actually was able to get a new job too. So now she has a bot that's making her a bunch of money, and she's got a brand new job that's actually paying her more money as well, right? So, um, win-win, right? So, basically learning this skill, not only was she be able to was she able to go through our classes and learn this new skill and being able to build this bot to make her some money and all that sort of thing, but she's also able to get a higher paying job to even put into that in the first place, right? She got this job, and basically, she told us she said the reason why I got this was because of these programming skills I learned, right? They were impressed by the bot that I made and they gave me the job, which is very, very cool. And I thought that was awesome. It really comes down to AI, right? The fact that she was able to learn this, normally learning coding will take you months or years. If you're using AI, you don't really even need to know how to code, right? You need to know how to talk to it, right? Maybe you'll need to know like the basics of what is an if statement, whatever, but you don't need to be an expert by any stretch of the word, you know? So let me tell you a couple tips, right? Here's a couple tips. If you want to use AI for coding, right? If you want to use AI to build trading bots, or if you want to use AI to help you code some stuff, here's 5 tips. Yeah. So tip number one, start by finding existing code. Okay. When we first started doing this, or when ChatGPT first came out, I had a bunch of people come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I said to ChatGPT and it built this bot for me, and it's not working." And I'm like, "Okay, well, it's not that smart, right? ChatGPT is not smart enough to, at least not yet, to build a bot completely from scratch, right?" So instead of telling you to build a bot from scratch, what you should do is take an existing bot, and we have a lot of them. Take an existing bot, give it to ChatGPT, and tell it to modify it, right? So you take a bot that's, trading options, doing whatever, or you take a bot that's trading crypto or whatever it is that you want to do, right? Give it a ChatGPT and say, hey, take this code and modify this code to do X, Y, and Z. And it'll do a much better job at doing that than it would at building a bot from scratch. ChatGPT isn't smart enough to do from scratch, but it is smart enough to be able to modify code, right? So that's tip number one. If you're going to use AI for coding, that's tip number one. Okay. Tip number two, if you don't understand what the code does, you can simply copy paste the code, give it to ChatGPT, and it can explain it to you, right? You can say, what the heck does this do? And it'll read the code and it'll put in plain English, say, this is what it does. Yeah. And not only it can do that, but you could also tell it to add comments into the code, okay, which is basically when you write code, it's like code and then there's like plain English. So it looks something like this. Like here's something, like in green here, here's a comment, right? Here's a bunch of code, right? And you're like, what the heck is that? Then you can read the English here and like, okay, check what time step we're using, different endpoint, like we explain in English. This is a little bit more complicated than our typical bot. But you can see that it's in plain English, right? That'll tell you what it's doing. So what you can do is you can give this code to ChatGPT, tell it to add in these comments, and then now you can actually read the code like it's English. You can say, okay, well, that's how this bot works, and it's doing this and it's doing that. It makes it a heck of a lot easier to understand what is going on, right? So that's tip number two. If you don't understand what the code does, give it a ChatGPT, ask it to explain it to you, and also ask it to add in code comments. It will make it a heck of a lot easier to work with. Right? Okay, cool. So that's number two. Number three, and this is a really cool one. Everyone that joins our classes has to install something called GitHub Copilot on their computer. Okay. And what GitHub Copilot is basically when I'm writing code, let's say I'm writing code here. Look at how it's like automatically filling in stuff for me. I'm not writing this code. See all this stuff in gray? It's literally just writing this for me. And by the way, I think this is actually the right thing to do. This is amazing. This is how I code these days. I literally, I'm not doing anything. I'm just hitting enter. And it literally wrote all this code for me. I didn't write that. And I'm pretty sure this is right, by the way. That's which is freaking awesome. Um, that's what GitHub Copilot does. So you don't really even have to code that much. You just kind of tell it, you'll put a comment in and say, do this, and then it will automatically generate the code, and you just hit enter and just accept that code. And that's it, right? That's what GitHub Copilot does. So very, very cool stuff built into VS Code and actually built into just VS Code right now, which is I'd strongly recommend that you guys use that if you're writing any kind of code. But strongly recommend use GitHub Copilot. That's tip number 3 if you're going to use AI with programming. Okay, tip number 4, if you get any errors, and that happens all the time. If you're programming something, you will get errors. I guarantee you that, right? Errors is like the game, the name of the game, right? It's basically coding is kind of like solving a never-ending Rubik's Cube, right? More fun than that, I think. But it's always like it's like problem solving, right? And there's always some sort of bug that happens, there's some sort of error, and you have to fix it, right? Now, there's this whole thing that people say, well, coding is difficult because like, oh, if you put a comma in the wrong spot, or if you put a space in the wrong thing, like everything breaks down, right? Well, now you don't have to deal with that anymore, right? You don't have to bang your head against the wall for 2 hours trying to figure out that you missed a comma, right? You can literally just copy and paste the error and give it to ChatGPT, and it will tell you what's wrong. It'll put it in plain English. And what's furthermore is you can even take the code and the error, give it both to ChatGPT, and it will literally just fix the code for you. It will tell you the problem is you're missing a comma. Here's the code with the comma in the right spot, right? And you just copy, paste, and put it into your code, right? It makes it so much easier. Okay? So if you do get any kind of errors while you're coding, put it to ChatGPT and let it solve it for you. It'll make your life a lot easier. Right? So that's number 4. Number 5 is, check out our course recordings. We have a bunch of courses on the stuff. You'll see me when we're running this stuff on Tuesdays or in our other classes, in our pre-recorded classes, all that kind of stuff. You'll see me using AI a lot, right? And I'll show you lots of tips throughout the whole process, right? There's a lot of like little tidbits throughout. When you watch our courses, when you watch the recordings, you'll see a lot of like little tidbits on how to use AI. So watch our recordings and check that stuff out too, right? Very cool. Okay, awesome. All right, so that's it for our secrets, right? So those are the tips for AI. So those are our 3 secrets again. So back testing, make sure you back test. If there's one thing that you'll take home from today, make sure that you back test your stuff. That alone can completely change your life. It did to me, and it can do the same thing for you. Secret number 2, if you're going to be making any kind of algorithms or anything, make sure that you use existing code. Don't write the stuff from scratch. We have a ton of this stuff. We have a huge basically community of people that is building this stuff. You don't have to do this from scratch. You can just use the stuff that we have, right? Make sure you do that. And then number 3, make sure that you use AI. These days, if you're a programmer and you're not using AI, you're a sucker, right? It can make your job so much easier. It's not even funny. If you get good at it, I've heard some programmers will say to me like, oh, I used it and it doesn't do it right. Well, yeah, you got to learn how to work with it, right? If you learn how to work with it and you get good at it, seriously, at least for me, I'll tell you, and I've seen this with our students as well, you can do the job of 10 people, right? Like literally I can do today, like today I was working on a specific set of code. I got done today what would normally have taken me an entire week. And it's because of AI. So make sure that you use that stuff. All right, cool. Okay, so I've been kind of alluding to this the whole time, right? Do you guys want to know what's inside of our all access plan? I've kind of been talking about this a bit, you guys want to join our full program? You guys want to know what's inside of our full program, what you would get with that? Are you guys interested in that? Okay, so let me show you. So here's our full program. This is our all access plan. This is the whole full shebang, what you're going to get in joining our classes, right? You're going to get a bunch of courses. You're going to get our algo trading course, our AI course, our options trading course, our crypto trading course. These all teach you basically how to build trading algorithms. And, for options, for crypto, using AI, we'll show you all those different things here, right? So we have a bunch of courses on that. Each one of these, we sell them for thousands of dollars each. We put together this all access plan and make it a lot cheaper for you guys, right? You also get some courses on blockchain and Web3 development. Crypto's back in style again. It's funny, every 4 years, it seems to happen over and over again. It's like people never learn their lesson. It's funny enough. I did actually predict this. I've actually made quite a bit of money in crypto the past year. I kind of screwed up. Today I was actually going to buy call options on Coinbase, and I got distracted because I was texting a friend, and I literally should have pushed that stupid button. I bet you if I pushed that button, I would have made like $10,000 tomorrow. But anyways, we have some courses here that I could teach you about blockchain and Web3 development, right? So if you want to learn about that kind of stuff, We have our live algo hour, which is this really cool Tuesday class that I keep telling you about, where we're inventing new algorithms every week. It's freaking awesome. You get a lot of one-on-one support. So if you ever get stuck anywhere, if you need help with anything, don't worry about it. You know, if like I said, I'm going to be making a video of getting my mom to actually do this stuff. She's not computer savvy. She's like 70 years old. I want to actually videotape her building one of these algorithms because it's getting that easy to build this stuff out. But if you get stuck anywhere along the way, we're here to help you, right? There's myself. We have a whole team of people that can help you out. So you get a lot of one-on-one support. You also get trading signals, which is what I was showing you here. You could follow our algorithms. We have a bunch in here. I'm going to be adding in a bunch more. Our options algorithms are going to go into here too. So if you don't want to run the algorithm, you can copy it. If you want to see how it's been doing, you can just look at it historically. You know, so very transparent. You can see what's been going on, right? So you get those trading signals. And starting next week, we're also going to be doing weekly office hours as well. So a couple hours every week, you'll be able to join in, and whatever the heck you want to have done during those office hours, we can do. If you want to build an algorithm during those office hours, we can do that. If you want help setting something up, we can do that. If you want, you know, whatever the heck else, you want to do some research on some stuff, we can do that during those office hours, and you'll have that available to you as well in the all access plan, right? I'm going to get into this a bit deeper in a bit. But before we get into each one of those deeper, here's kind of like another way of looking at it, right? Basically, when you go through the all access plan, you're going to be able to analyze investments using data, right? Instead of winging it, right? Instead of going off emotion, you're going to be doing this with hard data. You'll analyze all these things, back test them, understand what's happening here. You're going to be able to build algorithms that automatically place trades for you. You'll learn how to do that, and you'll have your own algorithms running. You'll get an in-depth understanding of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and you'll learn the fundamentals of artificial intelligence and how to apply that to investing. And you'll get a lot more, right? You get our trading signals, you get a whole part of our community, you get a lot of other really, really cool stuff, right? And just as important as what you'll be able to do is what you'll be able to get rid of. All right, so number one, you'll be able to get rid of expensive mistakes that could cost you your life savings or worse. I've been there. I've lost my life savings doing stupid investment things. This will help you avoid that because you can back test it. You can see based on data what would have happened. We're going to help you prevent those mistakes that are very costly. And not only is it costly in terms of, you know, you have some money now and you can lose it, but it's also costly in terms of you have some money now and you're not going to get where you want to get to, right? You know, it's just as bad, or actually almost as bad, as losing money is not making as much as you should, right? So we'll help you avoid these costly mistakes of doing silly things that are actually very easy to avoid if you look at the data. We'll also save you from searching YouTube for days trying to figure out how to do this. It is not easy to get started with algo trading, but we have spent the past 4.5 years making it super, super simple. I can tell you, I don't know any program on the internet that makes it easier to get started with this stuff. We have obsessively been doing this. You know, we're really trying to make this thing available to everybody, right? How do we get everyone to be able to build trading algorithms? That's what we're working on. So you can go off and you can find this stuff on YouTube, I'm sure, try to piece it together. Good luck. You know, that's going to be very difficult to do. You're welcome to try it. But you know, this will definitely save you a lot of time and effort. So you don't have to go off and try to piece things together. And, you know, someone's telling you to do this thing, another person's telling you to do this. We'll put it all in one spot and make it really simple for you. And another thing, and this one's really important too, is you're going to be able to get rid of getting scammed by people selling you fake strategies and trying to steal your money. So, and I'll tell you why, right? And I see this way too friggin' often. Actually, pretty shitty story is I heard my brother-in-law actually just fell for one of these things too. He met some girl on the internet and she convinced him to like send money to like this Forex company. And he put this money in and he's like, oh, it's actually making money. And he put some more money in and now he's trying to take it out and they're, you know, basically gone, right? They're like, if you want to take out your money, give us $2,000, right? And it's like, okay, why would I give you money to take out money? Right? Like it's a scam, right? And I hear about this all the friggin' time, and it's ridiculous. In Forex, it's rampant, and in crypto, it's rampant. There's all these people all over the internet promising you the moon. You can make 100% a day, you know, doing nothing with no risk. You know, it's crazy the stuff that's out there, right? you're going to be able to avoid getting into those scams. And I'll tell you why. Because we don't take a penny of your money, right? Instead of, you're not giving us, unless you want to invest in our hedge fund. If you want to do that, let me know. That's a different story. But instead of you giving us our money, we're not taking your cash. We're not an investment fund, right? I'm not taking your money. I don't want your money, right? Pay us for our classes, sure, right? But when it comes to your own investments, you keep it, right? You keep it at your brokerage account. You keep it with you, and instead take these algorithms and run them, right? And use the algorithms to tell you whatever you want, or to control your account, or do whatever the heck you want to do with it, right? This is not me taking your money. This is you being able to use that, right? So it gives the power back to you, right? Instead of falling for someone that's, telling you they're going to make you all this crazy amount of money, you give them your cash and they disappear. You're instead going to be able to keep this in your own brokerage account, keep it under, US laws, right? Inside of like a US company that's regulated, right? And at a brokerage firm where you can see your money, take it out whenever the heck you want, right? We work with certain brokerage firms. You can pick whichever one you want, right? But this algorithm will be controlling that account instead of you giving us your money, and God knows what happens, right? So you don't have to worry about getting scammed. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. I see it happen way too often, and honestly, it makes me really sad seeing this stuff. I've had my brother-in-law, he lost like 30-40 grand to the scam. What the hell? I wish he came to me before that, right? We all yelled at him. We're like, what the hell? Like, why'd you tell us you're doing this? But I've heard this other people, the other day I was talking to someone who was like, he's like in his 50s. No, actually, no, what am I talking about? What was in his 50s? He was like in his 70s, and he lost like half his life savings to some stupid Bitcoin scam. It's like, instead of falling for that, you get the power, you run the algorithms yourself, you control your money. And that's, I think, a very important thing here, because please be careful out there, to say the least. Okay, so that's what you'll be able to do. That's what you'll be able to get rid of. I also save you a lot of time and money, right? So let me tell you about what it took me to build these things. It was a lot of effort for me to build this stuff. So let me tell you a few things that I did to build the stuff that you're currently looking at. So it took let's say 4.5 years now, and over $100,000. We built out a technology called LumiBot to make it really, really easy to trade. We spent years and years and years building this thing. In fact, I'm actually even still building it. This is me building it today, adding in more features into it. We're constantly developing this so that you guys can use that and run with it. So this way you don't have to build the stuff. We've built it for you, right? I've put in all the sweat equity, and paid actually a lot of money to people as well. I paid, I think, $100,000 in contractors until I smartened up and, kind of embraced the open source community. But we put a lot of time and effort into this for you to be able to get that, so you don't have to, right? I put in over 500 hours, I think probably even more than that at this point, creating our core class called Algorithmic Trading. Spent a lot of time building stuff out, perfecting everything, making sure that it's easy to understand, making sure that we're covering all the important stuff, that we have good algorithms to show you. I spent many, many, many hundreds of hours doing this stuff. We spent, thousands of hours, not just myself, but our other instructors, making all the rest of our classes, our options class, our AI class, our blockchain class. We spent thousands of hours building all those things. We also spent thousands of hours creating and testing all these algorithms. We have a whole library of algorithms. If you look for, actually, I can't show you, I don't have it loaded, but we literally have like 100 different algorithms they could choose from. It's crazy. We have this huge library of all these things. We spent many, many hours building these things out. And, if you think about it, if you had to hire someone to build an algorithm for you, how much would that cost? It's like a couple $1,000. We have hundreds of these algorithms for you to use, right? I spent thousands of hours building that stuff. And then also spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars building our community. We have a fantastic community, some very, very smart investors. It's not even just about me. Honestly, the people that are part of our community, I learn from them every single day. They're always teaching me some cool new tricks. They're teaching me these new investment strategies. Everyone's like, I'm constantly learning from our community as well. So we spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars building out this community, and you can get that as part of our plan. Right. Okay. And here's a couple of things too. So at this point, you might be thinking a few things. You might have the belief that this is going to be very hard. It's going to take a lot of time. Hopefully, by this point, you understand this isn't going to be that difficult. we've perfected this program over many years to make it super, super easy. So even if you don't know how to code, we made this very easy for you to get started with. Another belief you might have is that this is a scam. We're going to steal your money. Again, we don't take your money. I don't want your money. Keep it at your broker, right? This is definitely not one of those things. I don't want your money. Don't give it to me. Pay us for our courses, fine. Pay us for access to our stuff, fine. But when it comes to your investment dollars, you keep it yourself and you do it whatever you want to do with it, right? We give you the tools and you can do whatever you want with them, right? Another belief you might have is that you're not computer savvy and you won't be able to do this. Well, the truth is, we've taught thousands of people how to do this. I've taught a lot of people that are over 65 years old, retired. I've taught a lot of people how to do this kind of stuff. This one guy, I remember I took like 2 hours just to get his Zoom installed on his computer. It's crazy, but we got him trading algorithms, right? If I can get this guy who's 70 years old, who couldn't even install Zoom on his computer and get Zoom to work. You guys are all here on Zoom, right? I bet you didn't take 2 hours to set it up. But even if it did, and you're like that guy, we were able to get him to trade as well, right? So imagine that. Okay? Another belief you might have is you might say, well, maybe you're the opposite end. Maybe you're a great coder. Maybe someone said earlier today they're a data scientist, right? You might say, oh, this is too easy for me, right? Oh, this is just simple stuff, blah, blah. Well, the truth is that we're actually one of the most advanced programs for algorithmic trading in the world, right? If you look online, there's a bunch of programs on this. We're actually one of the most sophisticated in the world. We have a very wide array of different classes. We have lots of different code examples. We have a bunch of different instructors are teaching things. We have a really large community of people doing this stuff. We're actually one of the most advanced programs on earth when it comes to algo trading. So if you're thinking that this is going to be so simple that you're not going to get anything out of it, think again. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of depth to this as well, right? Another belief you might have is that this is going to be very expensive. I kind of already told you a little bit of what the price point is. But the truth is, it's way more expensive to screw up your investments, right? Me personally, when I was younger, I lost $30,000 screwing up my investments. You know what I mean? If I had done this from the beginning, if I had back tested from the beginning and just followed through with all this stuff, if I had known this back then, I would have never lost that money, right? So that is a much bigger cost than what we're charging here. I'll tell you, it's a order of magnitude, several orders of magnitude difference in cost, especially if you factor in not only that I would not have lost that money, but that I could have actually grown that money to be, that 30K could have been $1 million by now. You know what I mean? So sure, it's going to cost you a bit to do this, but not taking care of your investments and not getting a handle on this stuff is a lot more expensive, right? Another belief you might have is that you're new to investing, right? Maybe you're brand new to investing. You haven't, really started with this stuff yet. And you're like, okay, I want to develop my skills first. I kind of want to learn a little bit about trading first. Well, the truth is that if you get started with this kind of program and you use data and use software and you learn the fundamentals properly from the beginning, it's going to set you off on the right foot, right? So instead of going off and learning from some random person on YouTube some terrible advice, you can come here. We'll show you stuff based on data from people that actually have been in the markets for a long time. I've worked on Wall Street. I have a master's in finance. We have a whole community full of people that work on Wall Street that are very good at this stuff. It can help you get started off on the right foot. All right. Okay, cool. We got a chat here. Jesus says, can you provide algo classes only for trading stocks, but no crypto or options? How much would it cost? Yeah, if you want to do that, you could join our pro plan, right? You could actually get access to that, right? So this is our all access plan, which gives you everything, gives you the options, gives you a lot of support and all that kind of stuff. But if you wanted to, you could also join our pro plan, and you could see that on our website. You go lumiwealth.com, lumiwealth, I'm going to take that out.com, and you can check that out on there as well. We also have a starter plan if that's even out of budget for you, where you don't really get our full thing. You get kind of our intro algorithms, right? And that one you can even get started with for $1, right? So $1, you kind of get introduced to all this stuff, and you can kind of get started. It's $1 to get started, and then it's like $50 a month after that. So that's like the cheapest option available if you kind of want to, if you're really cost conscious or whatever. But you're not going to get the full shebang, obviously, right? You're going to get a much smaller subset of things. We have a whole spectrum, right? So We have our all access plan, which I'm talking about right now, but we also have, you know, all like basically the whole spectrum of how you want to get started here. Cool. Okay. Do you guys want to see some case studies? So I've been talking for a while now. Do you guys want to hear from some of our students, basically what they thought about the program? I'm going to rest my voice for a little bit here, and I'll show you, let other people kind of tell you about what their experiences were. And let me tell you, first of all, if you want to see more of them, go to lumiwealth.com testimonials. We have a bunch of stuff in here, right? We also have Trustpilot. We have a bunch of reviews on there as well. Right, so these are loading up here, but we have a bunch of videos. You can watch videos here of like a bunch of people that have taken our courses, a game, and there's another one with a game, Renee and Santai, and I'm going to play that for you today. Joel, you know, we have a bunch of different people. They all kind of had different backgrounds. Some of them were programmers, some of them didn't know how to code. So if you want to go through each of these things, you can watch these reviews here. So you can actually listen to a bunch of them instead of just hearing it from me. Right, but let me play you two of them. And to be mindful of your time, I'm only going to play you the first 2 minutes, let's say, of each video. I'm going to play you two of them. One of them by a person who was a coder when he joined us, and he was able to build some really cool stuff, Santayan. And another one, which is Latoya. I told you about her before. She joined us and didn't know how to code at all at the beginning. So let me first tell you about Santayan. This guy, when he joined us, he's a programmer. You know, that's what he does for a living. Yeah. He was able to basically take his coding skills and he built out an algorithm. Last time I heard, he's making like 400% a year in his investing, which is crazy, right? He's a very active member of the community. You can actually talk to him if you're on our Discord, kind of get some tidbits from him, whatever, right? He's been with us for quite some time. But let me play you the video with him so you can kind of hear from his own words what he thought about the program. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose LumiWealth.
So I am a computer science graduate and I am a software developer currently. I develop automations for my current company that I'm working for. And also I develop full stack applications, web apps and APIs, as well as for my company. What attracted me about LumiWealth was I loved some of their resources available on YouTube, which told me right from the beginning like what to expect from the classes. And also, I was extremely interested to learn finance and algorithmic trading. I've been trading from a Wall Street veteran like you, Robert. I mean, you have extensive experience in leading teams into this in this particular branch of finance, and I was completely. I really wanted to be a part of that as well. I really love that there, during the classes, we'll be going to, perform like 2 live projects, which would give us like real hands-on experience, what we would expect in a real financial world. Weekly 1-hour interactions with you and with the fellow students, that is always an added advantage that we have. Unlimited discussions and help that I got during my time, especially in the Discord channel that we had, was tremendously valuable to me. And also the opportunity to book, one-on-one time with you if I get stuck. I mean, that is something that is even more valuable, and that tremendously, attracted me to LumiWealth. And you don't get that in other courses or any other. I mean, even if you selected a video course, you wouldn't get all these benefits. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people love the live nature of things. Thank you for
exactly.
that. I feel. Okay, cool. So that was Santayan. I mean, basically his experience with our courses. Like I said, he's built out some really cool algorithms. I've seen some amazing stuff built by him. Here's another one. Here's Latoya, who joined us. She didn't know how to code at the very beginning. Like I said, she was a pharmacist. Let me play this for you. She was the one that actually built out this crazy trading signal bot that I thought was really impressive. So let me play this for you here, and you can actually listen to her talk about the program as well.
Hi, my name is Latoya. I took Louis Wealth's live algorithmic trading course, the pre-recorded options trading course, and I'm signed up to take the machine learning and data science course later this month. I'm a pharmacist by training. I have no previous background or experience in coding. As far as finance goes, I was primarily a long-term buy and hold investor until about a year before taking the course, when I began to learn more about options and day trading. I was by no means profitable consistently in my day trades. I found that with my full-time job, there was limited time for me to get enough chart time to get better at trading, since my work hours typically overlapped with market hours for options trading. I started to see advertisements for Looney Wealth, and it was really attractive due to the ability to build algorithms to trade without constant input from me, and to be able to take some of the emotions out of trading, which was really changing a lot of my trades. I loved the class. I was intimidated by the fact that I did not have any coding experience and was wondering whether or not I would really be able to go from zero knowledge to creating a bot within that 12-week time frame of the course. But Looney Wealth guarantees that you will be able to create a bot, or not only do they refund you, but they pay you something like $600. So I was pretty confident about that. I joined some of the free webinars before I signed up for the courses. And I also joined their free Discord community before signing up and booked a call with them to discuss the courses. So I was really impressed by the knowledge base of the instructor during the free webinars and how responsive everyone was when I asked questions during the call, and in the Discord community, they answer questions very quickly in the Discord channels. The courses also have like.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. Right. So again, I want to be mindful of your time. If you guys want to keep watching these, either Latoya's or Santian's, you can go to that link that I shared with you, lumiwealth.com/testimonials. They're all in here. You guys can watch these videos and actually see what these guys had to say if you want to keep watching and keep going through all this stuff. All right. Okay, so so in other words, who is this for? What do we make this program for? As you can see here, this is for people who have never coded in their lives before. If you've never coded before, kind of like Latoya, you can do this, right? If you're a professional programmer like Santayan, you can do this, right? If you have $1 million plus to invest, we have some people like that, right? Some of our students have literally millions of dollars to invest. They're actually going to be helping us hopefully start our hedge fund very soon. Put in seed capital into it. But if you're one of those people, you can join us. But even if you're not, if you're someone that's just starting out, let's say you're starting out with your first dollar, you could join us as well. We've had some people here, $200, there's some algorithms that work on a $200 account as well. Right? So even if you're just getting started, you have $200 to your name, or if you're a multimillionaire, both of those can work out with algorithms and with all the stuff that we teach as well. Right. Okay, cool. So are you ready to see the whole offer? Do you want me to walk you through really quickly kind of all the things that you get? I promise you this whole thing. Let me tell you kind of all the little details you're going to get from this, right? Okay, so again, here's basically all you get. You get a bunch of courses, right? You're going to get a live algo hour. You're going to get one-on-one support. You're going to get trading signals, and you're going to get our weekly office hours. Okay? So let me talk about each one of them briefly, all right? So first of all, you're going to get our Algo Trading course, or Algorithmic Trading course. This is a 12-week long class that will basically teach you from A to Z how to make your own trading algorithms, right? How to basically go from setting up your computer all the way up until, trading these things on a broker, how to back test them, and then how to do all the more advanced kind of stuff, right? So we have a whole 12-week long class on how to do that. So in this class, you're going to learn how to back test and run algorithms live. You got to learn how to create your own algorithms from scratch, and you're going to learn how to modify those algorithms. And this course comes with 50, I think even a little bit more than 50 algorithms right out of the box that you can actually use, run, do whatever the heck you want with them right out of the box. Normally, we sell this course for $2,995. If you want to get it separately, you can actually click on this link here, and you can buy this course separately right now. Right? Okay. So that's one thing that you're going to get as part of our all access plan. You're also going to get our artificial intelligence for trading course as well. Okay. And what this is an 8-week long class that is going to show you how to create custom AI models for your trading, right? So all these things that you learn about with AI, these large language models and all that kind of stuff will teach you how to do that, right? So it's taught by a very smart guy, by the way, this guy, Greg Tanaka. He, graduated from Berkeley. He graduated from Caltech. He's at Stanford right now. I think he's doing something at Stanford currently. He got funded like $12 million by Andreessen Horowitz for an AI trading company. So he's like really, really, really good at this stuff. Like literally genius level type person. He's the one that teaches this class. It's an 8-week long class. And basically, he'll teach you the fundamentals of machine learning and artificial intelligence. He'll then teach you how to use AI and machine learning to analyze stocks, crypto, and a bunch of other stuff. You can apply this to anything that's a time series. So stocks, crypto, futures, whatever, right? Forex, if you want to do that, right? You'll learn how to apply that. And then you also learn how to create and use your own large language model. So kind of like a chat GPT, you'll learn how to use this and create this yourself so that you can actually analyze things that are coming in, right? So when news stories come out or whatever, you'll be able to analyze that and make trading decisions based off of that too, right? So this class normally goes for $2,995. Again, if you want to buy it separately, click on this link, you can buy it, right? But this will be included as part of the all access plan. Okay. So far, you're seeing 2 courses here, our algorithmic trading course and our artificial intelligence for trading course. Each course is $2,995. In total value that you're getting so far is $5,990 if you want to buy this separately, right? Okay, and this is all going to be included in the all access plan. We're also going to get more. You're also going to get our options trading course. You're going to, this is basically a course that's 8 weeks long that teaches you kind of how to go the next steps, right? How do you go from building your own algorithms to how do you build options algorithms, which is the next level of difficulty, right? This will take you through that. It'll show you how to build straddles and strangles and iron condors and all that stuff. How do you write code for all that, right? So it'll teach you the fundamentals of options trading. We'll walk you through it using data. You'll learn how to back test and trade options algorithms. And then you're going to get 10, actually a lot more than 10 algorithms now, 10 different options algorithms they could use just right out of the box, modify them, tweak them, back test them, run them, whatever the heck you want to do with them. Right? This course normally goes for $2,995. If you want to buy it separately, you can click on that right here. All right. But this will come included in the all access plan. So in other words, you're going to get 3 courses so far. They're $2,995 each. And so far, you're getting $8,985 worth of value, right? Literally, we were selling these courses not too long ago, all of them separately. So you're getting all that bundled together. Then you're also going to get our crypto algorithms course, right? This will teach you basically, it's an 8-week long class teaching you how to trade crypto using algorithms, right? There's specific things, connecting to different brokerages and different types of coins you want to analyze and different data sources you want to do. We'll show you how to do all that kind of stuff. So basically, we'll show you how to apply algo trading to cryptocurrencies, and then we'll give you 15 different cryptocurrency algorithms that you could use right out of the box as well. Okay? This normally goes for $2,995. If you want to buy it, you can click on this link here. You can buy it separately, but or you can also just get it as part of our all access plan, right? So far we have 4 courses for a grand total of $11,980 worth of value so far. Okay, but you're going to get more. You're also going to get our blockchain development course. And this is basically an 8-week long class. They'll teach you how to make your own decentralized applications, or in other words, they're called dApps, right? And those are things like crypto coins, NFTs. There's also like lending products, all sorts of those different types of things. You'll learn how to do all that kind of stuff on the blockchain, right? So essentially, you'll learn how to all the fundamentals of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and you'll learn how to use Solidity. This is the programming language for Ethereum. You'll learn how to use that to create your own decentralized apps like NFTs and crypto coins and all the other fancy stuff that people are doing with crypto. You'll learn how to do that yourself too. Okay. This course normally we sell for $2,995. And again, if you want to buy it, you can click on here, or you can just get it as part of our all access plan. Okay. So again, we have now 5 different courses all go for $2,995 each, for a grand total of $14,975 that you're getting in value so far. Okay? But there's more. You're also going to get our Web3 development course. Okay? And what this is it's an 8-week-long class on how to create your own decentralized websites. So if you want to learn how to do things like exchanges or games or whatever, all this fancy stuff that people are doing with crypto coins, there's like games where you like can trade at like NFTs are like your characters, like you can make your own dude and that it's like an NFT and that like then you can like sell it on the on the blockchain. Like you could do all that kind of stuff. You'll learn how to build those types of websites, which by the way, some of those got funded and got like crap load of money behind them. You'll learn how to do that. There's an 8-week-long class to get you started on that. Basically what you'll get out of it is learning how to basically turn these decentralized applications into websites. You'll learn how to make interactive websites using React.js, which is a programming language used to make websites. And then you also learn how to use React.js with Solidity, with that last thing I was talking about, how to basically put these things together to build some really, really cool stuff, right? This normally goes for $2,995 as well. If you want to buy it separately, here it is. Or you can get it all bundled in to our all access plan, which so far we're seeing has a total value of $17,970 so far. We have all these 6 different courses. When you add them all up, if you were to buy them separately, it would cost you almost $18,000. And you're going to get all of that as part of the all access plan. But there's more. You're also going to get our live algo hour. This is one of the things I was talking about. This is my favorite class to teach. I love this class. This is also the favorite class of many people that take our program. They love this. You join it on Tuesdays, and we basically are constantly making cutting edge algorithms every week. Every Tuesday, you can join in. If you have an idea for something to build, we can build that idea out on the Tuesday night. Or if you want to just listen in and see what other people are building, it's a really good way to learn different strategies. It's a great way to have your own strategies built out, and you can actually take these things and use them and run them, right? So a lot of really cool, innovative stuff is happening in this class. We run it every week on Tuesday night. Okay. So basically what you get out of it is you can ask the instructor, which is myself, to build an algorithm for you, right? If you have something in mind. You can watch others have their algorithms built, which is, first of all, a huge opportunity to learn some really good strategies because there's some very smart people in this program. If anything, you can even just listen to their strategies. But on top of that, we're going to be also building that algorithm during class, and you can actually take that algorithm and run it. So right now, last time I checked, we had like 30 or 40 different algorithms. You can take those. I spoke about a couple of them today. You can take that code, use it, run it, and whatever the heck you want to do with it. If you want to back test it, you want to run it, you want it to trade automatically for you, if you want to modify it, the code is yours. You can do whatever the heck you want, right? We usually charge $249 a month for this. If you want to buy it individually, you can do that. This is part of our pro plan. You can just buy that directly, right? But this is also included as part of our all access plan. So you get it as part of this holistic package, right? So far, our all access plan, you're getting about $18,000 worth of stuff, plus $249 a month if you want to buy the stuff separately. Okay. Then you're also going to get one-on-one support. Okay, so one-on-one support where basically you want to call with me. Hello? Sorry, I thought I heard something there. So you're going to get one-on-one support, right? So if you ever need any kind of help from me or from anyone else on our team, right? You're going to be able to get 2 hours every week to help you out with that. I normally charge $200 an hour, and so do the rest of the people that we work with. So normally, if you want to buy this, it would cost you about $400 a month for those 2 hours. 2 hours times 200, right? It will cost you $400 a month usually, but that's included as part of our all access plan. So again, when we add all that up, we're getting $18,000 worth of value plus $649 a month if you had to buy this separately. Then you're also going to get our trading signals. I showed you that today. Basically, it's in Discord. I was able to walk you through. Here's like a couple of our strategies. You can just watch them and see how they're doing, right? They'll tell you whenever they're trading, so you can copy them if you want, right? Basically, you're going to get access to that. Normally we charge $49 a month for this. You'll get that as part of the all access plan as well. So here's kind of some screenshots, what it looks like. You get notifications on your phone, you see the graphs, right? And you can kind of just see this on your phone and go through it. And every time that we come up with a new algorithm, I'm going to be adding in a bunch more too. When we have new algorithms, you're going to see those trading signals as well. So the next thing we're going to be doing is all of our option stuff we're going to put into here, and you'll be able to get all those options trading signals too. You'll be able to watch those as well. All right. So in total, again, if you were to buy this all separately, it'd be $17,970 and $688 per month if you want to buy the stuff separately. Okay, but then there's more. There's one more thing that you're going to get as well. And this is a new thing that we're just starting. It's going to be next week is the first time we do this. So we're going to be doing our weekly office hours as well. So I'm going to be hosting these office hours. It's a 2-hour time slot every week where you can get whatever the heck you want answered. If you need help setting something up, if you need help building an algorithm, if you want to analyze something, you want to like say, hey, Rob, can you analyze what if we did this, or what if we got this data or did whatever the heck you want to do, right? We could do that during these office hours, okay? So you can get 2 hours of my time every week to do whatever the heck it is that you care about, right? So in a group format, but it's a smaller group. We have less people in our all access plan than our other plans. That's the way it is. You know, the more expensive thing, you have less people, right? So it's more private. So you're going to get a lot of time to yourself to be able to do whatever the heck you want to do, right? Again, I charge $200 an hour. So 2 hours of my time, $400 a month. Sorry, not $400 a month, $400 a week. What am I talking about? $400 a week. So that's what, $1,600. I actually did the math wrong. $1,600 a month for that if you want to actually buy that outright, you know. So you're going to get that as part of the plan as well. Right? I got to update these numbers. This is actually off by quite a large factor. I just realized it's off by $1,200. Right? So in other words, if you want to buy this stuff individually, okay, everything that you get in the all access plan, all the different courses that are $2,995 each, the live algo hour, which is $249 each, the one-on-one calls, which are $400 a month, the trading signals, which are $39 a month, and the weekly office hours, which is $1,600 a month. If you want to buy all those things separately, you'd be paying almost $18,000. You'd be paying $17,970 and $228 or $2,288 per month, which is a heck of a lot of money, right? So I ask you, what do you think this actually costs them, right? What do you guys think it costs for this program? I just showed you if you were to buy all those components separately, right, you'd be paying a heck of a lot of money. You'd be paying $18,000 upfront and then almost $2,300 a month. How much do you think we charge for our all access plan? What do you think would be fair? All right. So before I tell you that, before we get into that, let me first of all give you the promise, what I promised you guys. I'm going to give you guys a coupon code. Here's a coupon code for 30% off. We're currently doing a New Year's sale, which finishes tomorrow at midnight. This code goes dead, right? So if you guys want to save 30% off any of our courses, you can use this code at checkout. All you gotta do is when you check out, there's a little thing that says, you know, coupon code, enter it in there, hit apply, and you save 30%, not just up front, but every single month, 30%, right? So really big savings in some cases, right? All you gotta do is put in this coupon code Z New Year's Eve 24, right? New Year's Eve 2024, right? And you can save yourself 30%, right? But okay, so how much does it cost, right? So how much do you think this costs, right? We talked about this again. If you were to buy these things individually, it's almost $18,000 up front and then $2,300 a month. So how much do you think this costs, right? I guess some of you guys probably already went to the website, kind of already talked about this a bit. But what do you think would be fair for something like this, right? Well, what we are charging is we're charging $599 a month, right? for this whole plan, the thing that would know for all these different courses, for the Algo Trading course, options course, the AI course, the blockchain courses, the trading signals, the one-on-one support, the office hours, the innovative class every week, all that stuff, $600 a month. Plus, you get 30% off with that coupon code that I just gave you, right? So if you want to save an additional 30% off, you can do that using that coupon code, the ZNYE24. It's available until tomorrow at midnight, right? If you want to get this plan, what you do is you go to this site right here. I'm going to put this into the chat, right? You can also go to our website and just click on All Access Plan, right? Or, you know, it's lumiwealth.com/all access plan. You'd go here. And basically you scroll down and you can see, you know, what are the benefits. It kind of walks you through everything that you get from this, right? And then down at the bottom here, you're going to be able to click on this, add to cart, and make sure you put in your coupon code. You can save yourself 30% if you do this by tomorrow at midnight, right? Okay, so $5.99 a month for something that we would normally charge like $18,000 for, right? On top of that, you're also, if you want to save some more money, right? Let's say you want to save some more money. You're someone who wants to, you know, get a good deal, right? You can also get everything up front. So as you can get this as our annual plan instead of monthly, right? And instead of paying, you know, this $5.99 a month, you multiply that by 12 months. That's what, like 6,000 something or $7,000, right? Instead of paying that, you could save yourself 31%, right? It's 31% less if you do the math, right? And it's $4,995 per year instead, right? And again, you get that 30% off as well, right? So we have that sale going on. So $5,000 minus 30%, you know, whatever that comes out to. My brain's not working right now. I think that comes out to what? $3,500 a year, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than that $18,000 that you'd pay for these courses outright. So you get yourself a nice deal there. And if you want to get that yearly plan, all you gotta do is go down here and you just click on this button instead, right? Here's our annual plan. You save an extra 31% instead of paying all this stuff monthly, right? Okay, cool. So let's talk about, you know, if you had to do this yourself, what if you had to go off and do this yourself, right? You know, you're thinking $5.99. Okay, well, what if you want to say, screw it, okay, I'll just go off my own and I'll do this, okay? Well, first of all, this is what you'd have to do, right? You have to spend a lot of time learning how to create algorithms, right? It's not an easy thing to learn from scratch. We've made it very easy in our programs, but if you had to learn this from YouTube videos or Udemy or whatever the heck else is out there, you would probably have to spend a lot of hours learning this. I can tell you, I've put in hundreds of hours into doing this stuff, and it takes quite a while before you're able to produce anything that has any kind of value. So you'd have to put in a lot of hours to learn how to create algorithms on your own, right? Second of all, if you want to do this on your own, let's say you didn't want to learn how to code, if you want to just hire someone else to do this for you, right? Okay, well, if you want to hire someone to build an algorithm for you, usually algorithm developers, they go for about $150 an hour. You could check it out on Upwork if you look for this. They definitely charge, they're not regular programmers, as people actually know how to write finance applications. They're quite a bit more expensive. The typical algorithm takes around 20 hours to build, right? So we're talking about around $3,000 per algorithm, right? And that's assuming that this algorithm doesn't, right? So you're going to spend $3,000 on an algorithm, and you'll see if they actually can do a good job, right? Instead, you can come to us, and we already have a bunch of algorithms they can just use that we already show you the backtesting results that we've already tested, we've already ran, right? You can do that instead of going to these people and having them build them for you, right? So in other words, if you think about it, right, we have over 50 algorithms, right? We actually have quite a bit more than 50 now. And if you do the math, 50 algorithms times $3,000 per algorithm, that's $150,000 you have to spend to make these algorithms yourself, right? So if you sign for a class to our program, $600 a month, $5.99 a month, and you get a discount too right now, right? Versus $150,000 to spend on getting other people to make the algorithms for you. I think that's a pretty big difference in terms of cost, right? So we're saving you a lot of money there, right? And then not to mention also, if you're making mistakes, right? We can help you avoid a lot of these mistakes. It's very easy to make mistakes when you're writing code or you're trading with money. We can help you avoid those mistakes that can cost you literally thousands of dollars, right? So that's what you're going to save by coming to us instead of doing this on your own, right? Okay, and if that's not enough, I also have a guarantee for you here. If you're not happy with the program for whatever reason, right? I don't need to know what the reason is. You know, you didn't like the cut of my jib. I don't know, whatever, right? Whatever reason it is, you don't even have to give me a reason. Within 30 days, you get all your money back, no matter what, right? So just in case you guys are worried about pushing that button last minute, we do have this full guarantee. We're not going to give you trouble with any of this kind of stuff. And I think this is very important, by the way. I'll tell you a story. I signed up for, this website 2 days ago or something. I pushed the wrong button on the website and it charged me $100. I go to them, I'm like, can you please refund me? And I was planning to pay them like $100 a month. These guys refuse to do it, right? What the hell? To me, I think that's terrible customer service. We stand behind our product. If you, for whatever reason, again, you don't like it, you want to get your money back, no questions asked, we'll be able to do that for you. All right. So just in case you had those last minute thoughts, right? Okay, cool. So that's basically it. So we have this coupon code here. Here's a link for you to actually go through and purchase the class if you'd like to join us. Here's your coupon code again, ZNYE24. This again is valid for pretty much 24 hours. Tomorrow at midnight, it goes dead, so 26 hours. All right. Yeah, so we can start the clock ticking. Imagine, I don't know how to put this into a presentation, actual like ticking clock, but imagine that's there. We have 24 hours basically, if you guys want to save that 30%. All right. That being said, do you guys have any questions for me? You guys have been asking some questions throughout, but do you guys have any questions for anything that we covered today? Or anything about our plans or anything that you want to get clarified? So let me know. Now's a chance to ask questions. Feel free to turn on your microphone if you want to do that too. You don't have to type it out if you don't want to. You can turn on your mic and ask the questions too if you want. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I know it takes some time to write out questions. Cool. So again, if you guys join us, right, you'll be able to get access to all of our code, all those algorithms I showed you today. You'll be able to immediately start joining us on these different sessions. We're doing these office hours every week, starting next week. So you guys are joining at actually a fantastic time. And honestly, what better time is it to start learning a new skill than the new year, right? New year, new you, right? So it's definitely a good time. I feel like every year, whenever this time happens, this is when everyone gets really active in our community. So you guys would definitely join at a very good time. Cool. Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions, what you guys can do, you can reach me at rob@lumiwealth.com, right? You could email me there, or you could go to our website. If you go on our website here, you notice this little button at the bottom here, and click on that. This is probably one of the fastest ways to reach us lately, right? When you click on this, send us a message. I get it. If it's a more technical question, I'll be able to answer that, but also the rest of our team gets it too, and they'll be able to answer for you very quickly. So if you have some questions, you can type it in there and you can do that. Or you could also book a call with our team. You see on this page, there's a bunch of buttons here, talk to an expert, right? But if you go at the very top here under more, book a call. If you want to actually speak to someone over the phone, you can do that here as well, right? So if you don't want to type it out, if you want to actually speak to someone, you can book a call and have that conversation there, all right? All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys learned some stuff today. I hope you guys got some value out of this. And if you guys choose to join us on the rest of our classes and you want to continue this journey and build out some really cool algorithms, run some very cool algorithms, see the really the hottest stuff that we have to offer, join us on our all access plan. It's 30% off for the next 24 hours. You guys can save a bunch of money. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. And if you guys join, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Or you know, if you choose to book a call with me, maybe even sooner. All right. Oh, I got someone here in the chat. Jesus says, through your course, can we have stocks you recommend? I mean, we have algorithms that can choose stocks. Like, for example, our Congress trading algorithm. It is a stock picking algorithm. So if you want to run that algorithm, then it could actually pick stocks for you based on that criteria. Yes, so there we do have a bunch of algorithms that trade stocks, if that's what you're interested in. Absolutely. All right. Cool. All right, no problem. All right, guys. Like I said, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. You can book a call under more, book a call. You can message us on our little platform down here, right? Our intercom. But other than that, hope you guys have a great night. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope to see you soon. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks, Jesus. Thank you for being here. Have a good one.